Alrighty, let's do the rest of our doodle. Do these last 2 pages. I do have near me a red and a blue pencil, which might be a good idea, specifically since we're talking about the heart here and which one carries oxygenated blood or not. So first here we have a diagram showing the 2 different ways that blood moves through the body. So this one involving the lungs and the heart. Ew. The pulmonary circuit. I'm going to write more there in a second. But this one is called the systemic circuit. So it's these down here represent the capillaries in the body. So heart to lungs is pulmonary, heart to body is systemic. And obviously it is a circuit, so it's circular. It goes heart, lungs, back to heart. This one goes heart, body, back to heart. What the pulmonary circuit does is picks up oxygen, which is O2, and releases CO2 in the lungs. This one goes the other way around. It releases oxygen to the body and picks up CO2. So now, my red means that there is lots of oxygen. There's more oxygen in the places that we're going to color red. So that part of the heart, no, actually let's do the deoxygenated one. Let's do the blue first. So we'll say coming into the heart here, this would be blue. The right side of the heart, because remember it's backward, would be blue. And then going out to the lungs would be blue. So this represents kind of like your vena cava, the veins coming back up. Sometimes if you want to, sometimes in between arteries and veins where these capillaries are, sometimes people color them purple, you know, red plus blue. So blue means less, wow, oxygen. Red will mean more oxygen. So you never fully use up all of it or get rid of all of it. There's always just a little bit in your blood. So we say less and more. I mean, unless you're dead then. So now the lungs do their thing. So coming back to the heart, we'd have oxygenated. This goes up to the left side of the heart. It comes out through the aorta. You can take your time and color this a little better. I'm just going fast. It goes toward the body. Where's some gas exchanging colors? Let's see if I can find a purple. I don't have any purples nearby. This is kind of purple. You can add some purple in here. So in the Venn diagram, both of them exchange gases. And obviously they're both vessels, so you can put that too if you want. Veins are going towards the heart. Arteries, yes, I will move the camera down in a minute. Moving away from the heart. Let me move my camera down. Can't go very far, so my iPad's plugged in. The cord's only so long. So veins have thinner walls. They also have valves to keep the blood from flowing backward. Arteries have thicker walls because of blood pressure. I will add more to valves here. So to prevent things from going backward. Your arteries need thicker walls because they're getting all the pressure straight from the heart pushed on them. So they need to have the thicker, more muscular walls to prevent themselves from exploding. Whereas by the time stuff gets to the veins, there's very little blood pressure left. So they don't need those thicker walls. But they do have valves to prevent blood from flowing backward. Pause if you need to pause. So I'll move on to our heart diagram. Over here. Let's start on this side. All right, I'm gonna pull out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different colors. Or I'm gonna try to. So I can color each one a different color. So you can kind of match up these things. I know this black and white picture doesn't come out very well. The first box is your superior vena cava. And this brings blood from the upper body. Like the head, the neck, the chest, the arms. There you go, make this one, this blue color. Here's our superior vena cava. What you're going to see later this week with lymphatic circulation also comes back into that vena cava. Then, underneath this auricle here, that's kind of like this flappy stuff here, this is where we'd have the right atrium, which it receives the blood, the deoxygenated blood from the body. I have green here, so I'm gonna use green. There's really no rhyme or reason to these colors. I'm just picking colors. The coronary vessels. These coronary vessels, let's see. Go ahead, yeah, I'm just gonna use a yellow highlighter. I'll go a little faster. They're on the outside of the heart. It's these guys. They provide oxygen directly to the heart muscle itself, plus they take away carbon dioxide. Because the heart is really thick in some places, so the diffusion and osmosis would never be able to happen. Plus, the blood's moving so fast through it, there's not enough time. So the blood moving through the heart itself, it wouldn't really work to exchange gases and stuff that way. That's why it needs these coronary arteries and veins. Next one is our right ventricle. And its job is to send that blood to the lungs. What color do I have now? I have purple. Yeah, it's more like a bluish purple. Here is this ventricle. This whole thing, yes, this whole thing. Ventricles are much bigger than atria. There's one more on that side, the inferior vena cava. And this brings the blood from the lower body, like torso area, abdominal area, legs. The inferior vena cava goes from there. It's like orangey color here. Here's your inferior vena cava. They both end up in the same place. Both the inferior and superior one end up in the right side of the right atrium. So leave that there for a second. If you need to pause me, go ahead and pause. Zoop. The aorta. This sends the blood to the body. So after it's done, after it's moved through the whole heart, it goes to the aorta, and the aorta passes it out through the body. I think the aorta deserves to be read. If anybody in here gets to be read, I think it's the aorta. It's a dark red. But it kind of loops here. You can see that, does that. It has to loop down towards your legs. So it loops down, around, behind. And this is also aorta down here. And so are these little tubies that go up towards your arms, legs, and sorry, your legs are not on top. Towards your arms and your head and your chest. This is the biggest blood vessel you have. You puncture your aorta, you're dead. Super dead. This one's pointing to this dude that goes this way, and that is your pulmonary artery. Actually, the pulmonary veins are not written in one of these boxes, but I will write them kind of at the bottom and give them a color. Pulmonary artery. Go with black. I have black near here. So the blood comes in the vena cava, right atrium, right ventricle, pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery goes left and right. And it kind of branches into multiple pieces as it goes along. We'll see more about the lungs later on. There you go. So pulmonary artery going this way, pulmonary artery going this way. These two here are the pulmonary vein. I'll put that at the very bottom. Left atrium. This is going to receive pulmonary artery sends it to the lungs do their thing, sends it back to the pulmonary veins, and it ends up in the left atrium. What color is this? I'm gonna go with brown. Then we have the left ventricle. And this box down here, I'll come back to left ventricle in a second. It's just talking to the point, it's this pointy part, the bottom is the apex. There's really nothing else to write for that bottom box. Left ventricle, what color am I going to use for you? I have a pinkish here. And I'm going to add one note at the very bottom. Let's do this a little bit. The pulmonary veins don't get a box. I'm not sure why, but they don't. So I'm just going to color them in. I haven't used yet. Let's use this highlighter purple. The pulmonary veins are these guys. So how does blood move through the heart? Comes in the body through the vena cava, right atrium, right ventricle, pulmonary artery, lungs. Lungs do their thing, sends it back through the pulmonary veins, left atrium, left ventricle, aorta to the body. The body does its thing, sends the deoxygenated blood back that eventually become the vena cava, then the right, lungs, left, body, so on, so on, so on, so on. If you have any questions, please let me know, but we're going to stop this at exactly 15 minutes because that seems very nifty to me. 3, 2, 1.